Hello, everyone, and welcome to some more readings. Just give me one quick moment and let me share this out, or I need to share this out, and I also need to grab a link. One quick moment. Hello, hello. Okay, guys, so I'm going to in the comments. And I can pin a comment. And okay, perfect. Hello, Desiree. Okay, guys, so give me a second. I'm just going to share this out to a few groups and then we'll start. I promise. Perfect. Okay, guys. So, hello. So before we begin, I'm just going to go over quickly some pointed ears, and I don't have any ears on. Okay, I'm going to go over really quickly how to get a reading from me, and I'm going to introduce myself, and then we can jump into these readings. So for anyone who's new to my live and has never watched me before, my name is Becky, and I am the co-owner of Mystical Essence. I do tarot readings, I do astrology readings, I do oracle card readings, and I do spiritual mentoring. So that's kind of what I do. It's my thing. I have been reading tarot now for about, what, 5 years almost, give or take. I started off reading for myself, and then that kind of bled into me reading for everybody else. I really wanted to learn more about myself and how to improve myself, and that's where my tarot reading for myself came in. And then as I got better at that, people started coming to me asking for advice, and I started pulling cards, and then that led into this. And now I'm here reading for all of you, which is really, really awesome. I really I love doing it. I love helping people, and I love being able to connect with you all as well. So, there are a few different ways that you can get a reading tonight. Um, so the first way is to purchase a reading. So there is a link in the pinned comment, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. There is a pinned comment in both places, and there is a link there that will take you over to my Etsy, in a section in my Etsy that is all live readings. So just select which reading you want and give me your question, and I can go from there. The readings vary in price from $5 all the way up to, I think my most expensive one is $20 at the moment. Okay. Also, when you purchase a reading, you can ask me any question you guys would like to know the answer to. And it also gives you priority reading too. So you're guaranteed a reading tonight. Okay. There are a few subjects I do not do readings on. I don't do any type of health reading, which does include pregnancy or any type of legal readings. The other way that you can get a reading is to comment your name. So if I feel pulled to your name, I will pull some cards for you and give you the message that I get. When I do those readings, though, I'm not focusing on any questions. I'm not answering any questions. It is strictly the message you need to hear right now. Okay? If you guys if you guys get a free reading from me and you want a longer reading or a reading on something specific, you can purchase a reading using the link in the pinned comment. Okay, so please use your manners. Please, and thank you. I'd like to keep this a happy and somewhat pleasant place to be, even though my readings can be a bit brutal sometimes, but I try to keep it as pleasant as possible to be. Being disrespectful or rude will definitely get you blocked. I do not tolerate it. I do not tolerate spammers either, guys, but we'll get into that. So, if you get a reply to your comment inbox or a friend's request offering a reading, these are scams, please block them. I do my best to block them as they come up, but sometimes even after the live, they'll do it. And obviously, I cannot be online 24/7. So please block them. Know that they're not legit. They are definitely just people looking for money. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh, well, thank you, Kayla. You're sweet. If you guys are wondering about any of my reviews, Etsy does have all my reviews over there as well, all my ratings. So a lot of people are worried about me being a fake. I've had a few people that have come across that. So all my testimonials and reviews are over on my Etsy, and I think on my um, Facebook, there's one in the pins post. There's a review placed in the pinned post too. So I'm gonna star some names. Hopefully not to delete people this time, because I've had that happen in the past. Perfect, perfect. If you guys purchase a reading, please let me know as well, because sometimes I don't always see them. So tonight we're using two different decks. We are using the Witch's Tarot, which is a mini deck. It's my pocket tarot deck. This is the tarot deck that goes with me everywhere and anywhere usually, except maybe to work. And and we're also using the spellcasting oracle deck as well. Coolios, coolios. I just want to make sure of something, guys. So give me a moment here. Is the comment pinned? Yes, it is. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Okay. So, where did I put my pendulum I just had? I don't know. Oh. Okay, so we're not going to use the pendulum tonight. What is that pendulum? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. Kayla, I know you gave me a shout out, so I'm going to do an exchange for you. So let's pull some cards for you, Kayla, and see what comes up. Okay. Let's see what comes up for you, my dear. Oh. Hey, Jason. Awesome. Perfect, perfect. Okay, Kayla. So I'm going to show you the cards. The first card that came out for you that was flipped upright is the King of Pentacles. And then we have the Six of Cups. And we have the Star card reversed. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Nine of Swords. And we have the King of Swords reversed. So I feel like the most important thing for you right now is to be focusing on the future, particularly goals. I do feel like you can get a little caught up and reminiscent in the past, and sometimes that blocks you from moving forward, okay? The more we focus on the past, I find the more we repeat the past because that's where all our energy is going and that's what we end up manifesting. So it's really important that when you're focusing on things, you're focusing on the future, okay? Try not to, I'm also getting to try not to lump things into past. So, again, don't be, basing things off of past experiences, if that makes sense. I keep getting to emphasize that you create your own reality, okay? You're a powerful person, and I feel like you know that. And where your energy goes is whatever you're going to manifest, right? So if you want to manifest, if you're in situations that you don't like right now and you want to manifest something different, you need to start focusing on what it is that you want to manifest and creating that physical environment around you. So I know this is going to sound really weird, but they're telling me to bring up an example of something that I heard a while ago, and I don't know where I heard it. It was something I was watching somewhere, and it was talking about how manifestation and how this one person, the only time that he would ever fly was when he was first class. He would not fly any other way except first class. That's because he always wanted to be he wanted to be able to afford first class. So that was why he wanted to manifest. That was his goal, to be able to fly everywhere he wanted first class. So he made that happen by doing it, right? And putting himself in that position. He wanted to feel important. He wanted to feel, not that, that's everybody's goal, but that's an example, right? If you want a better job, looking at other jobs or visualizing yourself in that position, or, if you want a different household, changing things around in your household so that they reflect what it is you are wanting to bring in, right? Because essentially what we put our energy into is what we manifest. Okay, so you need to start focusing on what you want to manifest instead of all this crap that you've left behind, because that's just gonna zap you and pull you back instead of allowing you to move forward. Christine, you guys had to talk about that this morning, huh? Oh my goodness, that's funny. That's so cool. Boom. Boom, boom. Okay. I feel like sometimes we forget like the power that our minds hold. Um, okay. So let me, where's my Etsy here? Okay. So Jason. Sure. And Myshell, you're next. Okay, perfect. So Jason. Current struggle. Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna say this. The immediate thing that's coming up is things are getting lost in the shuffle of things. I feel like there's things being revealed to you, but the way I'm shuffling these cards is they're flipping over, but then they're getting lost in the deck almost as I'm shuffling, because they don't kind of fly out. They stay in the deck. So when I'm shuffling, I really got to pay attention and pull them out. And I feel like that's what you need to be doing as well, with things, because I do feel like there could be some missed opportunities or some misinformation or something that's just getting lost in the shuffle of your life in general, that are being overlooked and amongst things. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to point out. Let's see what we have coming up for Oracle cards. Boundaries reversed. Okay. So, what we have coming up, we have the World card reversed. We have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. We have the Six of Swords in behind that. We have the Seven of Wands in behind that. We have the Eight of Wands reversed, and behind that, and the Ace of Swords. And then we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. with the Two of Wands. With the Two of Wands reversed. Is that the Ten of Wands? Why did I think that was the Two of Wands? The Ten of Wands reversed. On the bottom of the deck. And then we have the Boundaries card coming up reversed as well. So I feel like a lot of your struggles right now may be because you are not setting healthy boundaries and limits with people. And that is something I'm going to encourage you to work on, and setting healthy boundaries and limits. But I feel like with you, it's not necessarily that you don't assert them and say them. Like some people will just, they're so passive that they don't say them. But I feel like for you, it's that you say them and you put them out there, but you don't necessarily follow through. It's like you pull back on them, right? You'll say a boundary and a limit to somebody, and then they'll be like, oh, but, and then they kind of push and push and push. And you, as a result, when they push this way, right? When they come at you, you're pulling back. So your boundaries are becoming less and less and less, and they're pushing more and more and more, and crossing boundaries that they shouldn't be crossing. Okay, so that's one thing that you definitely want to work on, because I feel like that is kind of the root of this. And with the Ten of Wands reversed on the bottom of the deck too, that's saying like you got to stop taking on everybody else's stuff. I do feel like you have a kind heart and a kind nature, and you tend to want to help everybody, right? And you will push your own boundaries and limits to help other people, but they're saying that you kind of need to stop that. Only take on what is yours and stop taking on everybody else's stuff. And I know that may sound a little selfish, but I feel like you need to be a little selfish right now, because that scale between, taking care of yourself and taking care of others is really, really off balance right now, and you're suffering because you're trying to help other people. So you need to be a little more selfish to rebalance that scale out. Okay. The World card is Saturn. I want to say Saturn energy. Yes, the World card is Saturn energy as well, which is what I was talking about with the boundaries. Saturn represents limits and boundaries, right? The World card is the end, but there's no end to this. It may feel like this is going to go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And I feel like it will until you put your foot down. Okay. There's definitely some people in here taking advantage of things that you need to kind of call them out. I'm going to say call them out, put a stop to it, and send them on their way. Now, they ain't going to be very happy about this. But you need to be very, very firm in that, right? The people who aren't helping you progress, who aren't helping you move forward, and this is a lot of people, who are taking instead of giving, that are like holding you back and pulling you back instead of helping you move forward, are people you really need to let go of. Okay. Particularly greedy and materialistic people as well. People who, I don't feel like these are people I feel like this is very physical sense. Like they will take your last dime and not feel bad about it, right? They'll leave you high and dry. You could lose everything you have, and they'll be just like, as long as they have what they need, they don't give a shit. And that's not the type of people you want to have around you. Okay, these are people who are not going to. The Knights kind of offer things as well, and I feel like this is not somebody who's going to offer something to you. They're just going to take, and there's no give back. So you need to definitely send these people packing. send them on their way and stand your ground with that, right? Like don't don't let them come back. Um, because there could be a return of things. Just make sure that you have cut them loose. Okay, really cut them loose because again, you can't give from an empty cup. The Four of Pentacles is coming up reversed. You are in this energy currently of giving more than you have, and you need to start taking care of yourself. That makes sense, Jason. Kayla, you agree. It's crazy. No, Kayla, I get that. They were, they, I'm sorry, I'm just the messenger, but apparently, yes, in no uncertain terms. They're like, I think some people though, like when it comes to being selfish, like we don't like being selfish, right? Society as a whole, we're taught to give, 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 give until we have nothing left to give. And sometimes we need to say, like, look, I can't, I just can't. I just can't anymore. But I'm glad that resonated. Awesome. And Kayla, yeah. Fear of being hurt, that holds a lot of people back, I find. But you also got to think of it from the other perspective by holding yourself, by not letting people in and not trusting yourself, you could miss out on some amazing people because you're scared to let people in. Right. It could work to your advantage, but it could also work to your disadvantage too, because you never really know what people are like until you give them a chance. Okay. Myshell. Perfect. Let me grab your reading. On a financial reading. Let's see. What comes up for you, my dear? Interesting. I'm seeing a lot of creativity blocked right off the bat. Oh, yeah. Let's see. What's the oracle's thing? Okay. So what we got coming up, Myshell, we have the Page of Swords reversed. We have the Emperor reversed. We have the Three of Hearts, or Three of Swords. So Three of Hearts in regular playing deck. I don't know. Every time I see the Three of Swords, I want to call it the Three of Hearts. So the Three of Hearts. And then we have the Eight of Wands reversed. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and we have the Nine of Cups upright. So I feel like you're stuck. What I was getting was you need to kind of stop. It was this energy of overthinking. Okay. We also have answers coming through along with spirit guide, along with strength. And then the home card was coming up reversed. New beginnings and blessings. So what I'm getting from these is, like I said, there's a lot of intense focus and overthinking on finances, and it's blocking your creativity when it comes to getting out of or bringing in the finances you want, or getting out of the financial situation you are in, changing. It's blocking your creativity when it comes to changing things, because obviously you want to change in your finances, I feel like. But the Page of Swords is that creativity in terms of creative thinking, in terms of thinking outside of the box, in terms of being open-minded with things, right? And I feel like that creative thinking, those creative ideas, those new and fresh ideas, they aren't coming through because you're too focused on it. So when you stop thinking about your finances and stop worrying about them so much, that's when you're going to release the stagnant energy, because what's happening is all this energy is pooling up and it's stagnating, right? When you stop focusing on it, then it doesn't pull it in, because we're magnets essentially, right? So when we focus on things, we draw it in, we draw it in, we draw it in. When you stop focusing on it, you're going to it's creating a mental block, all this focus you have on it, which is really interesting and funky how that works, but that's what they're showing me. It's like your intense focus is creating a block on giving you the answers that you need. The answers are in creativity, in finding new ways to do things and new ideas, but these new ideas can't come in because your mind is so filled with other things at the moment. Okay, so when you stop thinking about it, it's going to free up that energy, or and the way that they're showing me the freeing up energy is a really weird way, because they're showing me, like, if you were to have a cup of water and you left it out for days, right? Eventually that water is going to evaporate. It's not like you have to do anything. You just have to let these thoughts evaporate. The less attention you give them and the less energy you give them, they're going to evaporate, and eventually you're going to empty that energy out, and then you'll see new ideas come in, new thoughts come in. New ways of creating money, essentially, or getting into the situation you want, because right now it's really blocked. We also have the Emperor coming up reversed, which is Aries energy, which also has to do with creativity. Ace of Pentacles has to do with new beginnings. A lot of these things are being blocked right now because of the fact that the inspiration just isn't there, right? So you got to remove that block to get things flowing. And I feel like the way to do that is to just let it evaporate, which is really weird. So they say that the block right now is particularly within your imagination, which is really kind of, it's a paradox in and of itself, because Like your imagination creates things, but the problem is when we imagine too much, sometimes we overkill it. It's like overwatering, you know, your plants, obviously, a plant needs water to survive, but when you give it too much water, it dies, right? It's the same thing with our inspiration and our ideas. When we think about them and we water them to a degree, they can grow and they can flourish, but when we overwater them and when we're constantly feeding that energy in, it smothers it and then it doesn't give it a chance to manifest, right? At some point, we have to stop feeding the energy and then allow it time to manifest and grow. And I feel like that's what that that's what that cup gradually evolved. And like I said, the water was evaporating out of it. That's giving it time to manifest, okay? Because there's a bit of overkill here, and this is where the obsession is. I see how this is playing out in so like nothing's manifesting because it's being overkilled, essentially, through wanting to manifest it and visualizing it and seeing it. Okay, it's time to take a step back. There's a lot of visualization that's been done around this. I can see that. And a lot of intention work, but it's time to take a step back and allow that to manifest, okay? Allow the universe to take that up and do whatever it's going to do with it, because all that energy is there, but it's stuck. It can't manifest into anything right now because what's coming out too is this home card. And the way they showed me the home card was the fourth house. Now, if you're into astrology, the fourth house is also the house of the IC, which is the lowest part of your chart. It's the lowest point in your chart, right? So it's like everything's stuck at the bottom. It can't rise, it can't evaporate, it can't materialize, it can't get up into these other realms because it's stuck, it's anchored by you constantly feeding more energy into it, it's weighing it down. So once you stop doing that, and that's funny that I just mentioned that because the Justice card is reversed on the bottom of the deck, which is balance, right? It's out of balance. So in order to rebalance it, you got to kind of let some of that evaporate and get out of your own way. Does that make sense? Hello, Emma. It I'm trying to think of an example that I can give you that would maybe put this more into perspective, because being a pagan and doing spell work, I can understand that from my perspective, but I know not everybody does that kind of work, and so it's a little bit harder to understand. But okay, so when you're doing like Reiki, right? Essentially, what we do when we practice Reiki is we're moving blocked energy that's stuck. But once we do it, we don't like continue to put more energy in, right? We're letting it, we're evaporating it in a sense. And that's what you need to do, is kind of remove the energy because too much energy has been put into it and now it's kind of blocked. Does that make a little bit more sense? Hello, Cindy. Yeah, you definitely overthink it. Yeah, so you need to stop. It's not necessarily overthinking, it's just giving yourself room to breathe and allowing it that space, right? To manifest the way that it's going to manifest. And I think you'll see the creative ideas or the answers that you're seeking will come through once you, for lack of better terms, get out of your own way. keep, I keep seeing like a candy dish or something that's like overfilled and somebody trying to stuff a lid on it and then wondering why the lid doesn't go because there's too much in the dish, right? It's the same thing with your finances. Right now it's like there's too much, the energy that, like I said, that you're putting into it. Your financial bank is spiritually speaking is full and you just keep trying to cram more and more into it. They're like it makes some withdrawals. Pull some of that out. I don't know why they're showing me that. Well, finances is energy, essentially, right? Money is energy. So if there's energy being blocked in any way, sense, shape, or form, it can definitely impact your finances. And there's a lot of creativity and thinking coming up. So it's like, got to get creative. Thinking that you have to come up with creative ways to find new money when maybe you don't need to come up with creative ways. You just need to take a step back and, not worry about it so much. Yeah, let it go evaporate a bit. Um, yeah, perfect, perfect. You're welcome, Myshell. Hopefully that was helpful a little bit. I know it's a bit confusing. I think too, because we're at the ends of a Mercury retrograde. Like the things that we've been contemplating, we need to kind of let go of. Because Mercury retrograde was for the past 3 weeks, and it's kind of had us like going over things and contemplating things and um, revisiting things and even maybe slightly obsessing over things. And now it's like just let it all go. Now that it's moving back, I think it moves back direct today. I can't remember when Mercury goes back direct, but once it goes back direct, like that that desire to kind of go over and over and over things in our heads isn't usually there. And then the things that we have been contemplating kind of have a chance to manifest a little bit more at least. Oops. Yeah. Mercury retrogrades. I don't know. I haven't even been paying that much attention to the astrology. I don't even know what sign Mercury's in. I think it's in Virgo, though. I'm pretty sure. That retrograde in Virgo. Because it started out in Libra, I think. Anyways. There's lots of... Well, that's what a retrograde is, right? It's a moving backwards. It's going back over things. And when Mercury goes retrograde, it's going back, thinking about things and going over, rethinking things. And so Mercury has to do with our mind. So it can cause our mind to go back. Okay. I forgot water. I knew I forgot something. Oh well. Yeah, it's not just verbal or written communication, it's thinking because your mind, it's internal communication as well, which is your thought patterns, the internal talk that you have with yourself. I am in the process, guys. I know a couple of you were asking about astrology. So I am in the I know I've said this a few times, but I am in the process of still doing that astrology course. For anybody wanting to learn how to read their own chart. Um, it's been a bit of a process because I've done videos and then I've had to redo them because they just don't turn out the way or are set up the way I want them to be set up. So, yeah, I got most of the planet stuff done today. So there's about 5 lessons in the planetary stuff alone. And then we'll get into the signs and all that fun stuff as well, aspects and everything you need to know to read your own chart, hopefully. The brain is a computer too, so when you think about communication, think about it like that. Okay. Yeah, Mercury seems to be the emphasis seems to be on verbal communication and written, like electronics going crazy, verbal communication, misunderstandings, arguments, fights, that kind of thing. But it is also our thought patterns and our self-talk, all those things as well. Cindy, you say you can't be healed, but I'm going to tell you that everybody can be healed. But sometimes it's not. To the reason why other people can't heal us. So you said I can't be healed, constantly turned away. I'm rare. I'm desperate. Okay, so I'm going to say this and comment to this to anybody else who's having this issue. Our realities reflect things, literally, okay? Everything's a mirror. I've learned to look at everything like a mirror. So if people aren't willing to help us heal, it's not that we're unhealable, it's usually a good indication that the healing needs to happen from us, that we are responsible for healing ourselves. Sometimes we go looking for other people to heal us when other people cannot heal us, because the healing that has to occur has to come from us. So that maybe your case, Cindy, is that these people say they can't heal you because they are not meant to heal you. You are meant to heal yourself. But everybody is healable. Every person in this world has the potential to heal. Nobody is unhealable. But even by saying you're unhealable, you block yourself from being able to receive any type of healing energies. That's another thing. The mind, what you think becomes your reality. Both your conscious and your subconscious mind, by the way. Mind over matter, definitely. But sometimes it's a matter of, what mind you're thinking with. Like, there's been times where my conscious mind is like, yeah, we can do this and we're good. And then my subconscious mind, there's something in my subconscious that's like blocking the whole thing. And then I wonder why I can't manifest things and I can't do the things I want, because I'm like, I believe it. And then when I start meditating, my guides are like, but do you really? I'm like, I know I can do this. Why can't I do this? Do you really? So it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. Sometimes we have those subconscious blocks that we're not even aware of. Oh, it's just always fun. Always. Okay. So Kayla, I'm gonna unstar you. Take you off the list. Christina, are you still alone? I see 3 people. We went from like 10 people to 3 people. I don't know how this happens. Who all is still on? Like, people vanish. Vanish. Desiree, you're still on. Mike, I've seen you comments. Kayla, you're still on. Okay. I don't know where everybody went. Do I talk too much? I think that might be it. Oh, that's okay. How old's your daughter? I don't miss those days. Well, part of me does, but part of me does not. I do not miss the like getting up in the middle of the night to feed. Once my children started sleeping through the night, I was like, I was so happy. Although, that's where like having friends on the other side of the world was really cool though too, because it was like late night feeds and I was up at like 3 a.m. in the morning and I couldn't sleep. I was like randomly messaging some of my other friends. I'm like, I know you're all awake because it's like 9 a.m. over there. Okay, Christina. I wanted to do you, so we're gonna do you. And oh, they are rough. You have a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. Oh my goodness, girl, holy, that must keep you very busy. Oh my goodness. I remember that. My two oldest ones are like I want to say 10 or like 11 months apart. There is not that much of an age gap between the two of them. So yeah, having a toddler is an infant is a handful. Okay, it's coming through. Five of Cups. I feel like, my dear, for you, just make sure that you are taking some time for you, because I'm getting this very kind of emotionally exhausting energy coming from this Five of Cups. And then the Hanged Man is on the bottom of the deck, and it's almost like that rejuvenating energy, like that, oh my God, I can just relax and, have some. And I know, I know that that's going to be easier said than done with the two little ones in the house, and I can completely relate to that. But really making sure that you have that time to do you and your you time, even if it is just like, minutes at a time where you sneak away, have a bath or a shower or something, a way that you can just kind of regenerate yourself. Make sure that you are doing that, okay? Make sure you're taking that time for you. Because it is so easy to get caught up in things that we run ourselves down, and we don't necessarily think about ourselves as mothers, especially, you know, um, we're famous for not really taking care of ourselves probably as much as we should, because our children always come first, right? And that's the way it should be, but we have to remember to take care of ourselves as well. It is important to find those moments in your day where you can just take a step back and take a breath. Yeah. It's so much easier said than done, though. I remember, like, it was when my two were younger, it was so crazy. Like, I couldn't even go to the washroom without one of them knocking on the door and being like, "Let me in." So, it can be difficult. My foot's asleep. You're okay. Okay. So Desiree, and then I'll do my. I need water. I need water. Water, water. Let's see what comes up. Message. Message, 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 message. Okay, so Desiree, you're welcome, Christina. Desiree, we have the World card coming up for you, and then on the bottom of the deck is the Fool card, which is really funny because when I pulled the World card, I got that you need to see things to make sure that you are looking at things from a higher perspective, that sometimes we have to take ourselves out of this. Like, I literally was seeing like the world, like from space kind of view. And I feel like the Fool is Uranus energy, which definitely talks about that as well. Talks about, seeing things from a different perspective and seeing things from a higher perspective, okay? Um, so I feel like that's the message for you, is to try and see the bigger picture of things in life. To try and think outside of the box and to see things outside of just the material world. I feel like you can get very boxed in sometimes, and just to look at things from a very practical, worldly point of view, which isn't always a bad thing. We do need that viewpoint, but I feel like sometimes you need to get outside of that and remember that there is a bigger picture to things too, because sometimes it's easy to get caught up in everyday life and what's going on in the world around us, that we don't necessarily see the bigger picture of things, and we forget that there's more to things and sometimes than what we can see. So yeah, that's what I got for you. I also got new endings and new beginnings, also some major endings with new beginnings on the horizon as well, because the World card does mean the end of a journey, the end of a cycle, and then the Fool is back at the very beginning. So there could be something starting over for you as well. Cool, cool. Hopefully that makes sense for you, Desiree. So guys, this is the perfect example of those things that I was talking about, those messages. Send me your friends' requests for spiritual readings and healings. Okay. So I'm gonna unstart you. Mike. Let's see what comes up for you. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Let's see, what's the message? Interesting. I want to see what's on the bottom of the deck. I'm gonna leave you in suspense for a minute. I don't know if I like this. Okay. So don't shoot the messenger, please. Don't hate me after I do this reading. Okay, so we have the Ten of Wands coming up reversed. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Wands reversed. And then on the bottom of the deck, The bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Cups reversed. With the Six of Cups. Interesting. Okay. So what I'm getting from this is to really remain present with things. Stay in the present as much as possible. Okay. There was something coming through. Hold on. That's what happens when I don't say what comes to mind when I should say what comes to mind. And okay. So the Ten of Wands, what I'm getting is very focused on future events, right? Moving forward, building things together, which isn't always a bad thing. But I know me and you have had discussions about this before and trying to be as present as possible. And I feel like these cards are just reiterating that, right? Futures flexing and changing constantly. So sometimes we can attempt to plan ahead, but things can change on a whim, right? So I feel like it's saying like to try and remain as with this Nine of Pentacles, it's like try to remain as present as possible. And I kept getting one day at a time, like just take it one day at a time, one step at a time, one 1 inch at a time, even, just take it one step at a time. You're in a good place now. So with the Nine of Pentacles, it's like happy, satisfied. You're good where you're at currently, but I feel like there's definitely something more. Obviously, that I know there's something more that you want to work towards. And they're saying just take it one day at a time. Okay? Take it as it comes. The Knight of Wands is coming up reversed. I feel like in terms of I felt like this was movement, but I'm not sure if it's like short-term movement or long-term movement. But I feel like it's more long-term movement. Patience is going to be a virtue. Okay. Patience is going to be a virtue because any long-term movement is not going to happen right away. There's going to be some distance with things. That's why the Two of Cups is coming up reversed for a bit. For a bit. And they're also telling me to remember that connection is not always physical and that there's a lot more to connections than physical, because I feel like there's a lot of emphasis right now put on physical, especially with the Nine of Pentacles coming up. Remember that it's not always physical, okay? There's lots that can transcend the physical, which I know you already know. So I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here. But there's lots that transcend the physical. So keep it focused on that, right? Keep it focused on connections in all shapes and forms, and don't just focus on one. And just beware that you may need a lot of patience with things because things might not, the movement that you ultimately want is going to be a bit. Makes sense. Take things one day at a time. Don't rush things. You're welcome. And again, don't shoot the messenger. Oh. I was like, if they tell me short-term movement is not going to happen, I will cry. I will cry. I'd not be a very happy person. Okay. Perfect, perfect. I'm glad that that's giving you some stuff to think about. Not that you don't do a lot of that already, but oh my goodness. Okay. It just, I like felt like it wasn't. I also got to expect the unexpected, so things might not. Things will turn out, but they might not turn out the way you plan. And that's why taking things moment for moment is so important, because when those kinks in things get thrown into plans, um, you don't necessarily allow that to stop you, if that makes sense. We should discuss. We're gonna discuss this later. Okay. Should I be worried? Okay. I don't know what to do now. I can't believe I've been on for like an hour and 15 minutes already. It doesn't even feel like that. Yeah, we'll discuss that later, Mike. There's like, I keep hearing more and more, and I'm like, I don't want to go on. We'll discuss it. Okay. So for anybody just joining, hello, hello. So if you guys would like a reading, there's two ways to get one. You can comment your name and I will give you a whatever message comes through. Or you can purchase a reading if you want a specific type of reading done, or you have a specific topic you need a reading done on. And those readings are anywhere from $5 to $20, whatever you can afford. You guys will be happy to know, I've also gotten some other readings put up on my Etsy. I don't have them active at the moment because I don't have the cards out tonight for them. But I did also add Give me a moment here. I will tell you what I added. I did also add a spirit animal live reading, a chakra check reading, dream interpretation reading, and yeah. I think I'm going to add a past. Did I put a past? No, I think I'm going to add a past life reading in there too. So those are the other live readings that I will have available when I pull the cards out for them, but they did not want to come out tonight. So I have specific decks for those ones, and those ones are $20 because they are specialized. Actually, I should have done the dream interpretation readings tonight. I almost want to. Hello, Shanae. How are you? I'm using an old phone because it's got all my Etsy stuff on it, but I keep getting a crap ton of notifications. I turn it off, and as soon as I turn it on, it's like flooded with the notifications. That is something I wanted to look up, though. When Mercury retrograde ends. I got the thing on my tongue right. Oh, look, Mercury retrograde ends tomorrow. I knew it was either today or tomorrow. Tomorrow, October 2nd. So, if anyone is wondering when Mercury retrograde ends, it officially goes back direct tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. What time tomorrow? That's a good question. That I don't know. Maybe I get some tarot cards now too. I am not sure the time, but it does go back direct tomorrow. Yes. The energies have definitely been strong. They have been shifting like crazy lately. Crazy. And you can feel it. You're welcome, Desiree. The app I have doesn't show, it doesn't tell me the time that it goes back, which kind of sucks. But do you remember too, guys, that there is also a shadow period, though, from the time it goes back direct. So just beware of that. I don't know if you guys have had experiences with getting hit hard during shadow periods. I don't know why. I never like really have horrible retrogrades. It's the shadow periods. Like the shadow periods hit me, and then the retrogrades are like a breeze. But as soon as it goes into shadow, no. I don't know why. I don't like. I don't get it. I don't. But so it's in shadow until August 16th. That's a long time. October 16th, sorry. So, yeah. When is retrograde in Libra? So shadow periods are how do I word this? Okay, so the planet doesn't actually, so when a planet goes retrograde, right, what happens is it goes back, right? And then shadow periods are when it goes back direct, it goes back over, like obviously back over where it's already been, where it's retrograded. So that's kind of like a shadow period while it's going back over that same spot. And a lot of times it can cause issues. Well, I don't know, like I don't know a lot of people who have issues with the shadow period. It's just me. I feel like I have to look more into that. But I yeah, most people I know, they get hit more harder during the retrogrades than the shadow periods. But shadow periods are considered part of the retrograde, so technically the retrograde doesn't totally end. And Mercury isn't back direct to direct until the 20th. Or no, what did I say? The 16th. Joyce of it. Retrograde hasn't been that bad for me. I mean, I felt like the big shifts in energies, but I feel like that I knew that was coming anyways, so that didn't shock me. The world's going through some big shifts right now, so hang on. That's all I can say. Maybe not hang on. Maybe go with it. No, we're gonna not say hold on because they're like, don't say hold on, then you anchor into things, and that's yeah. Supposed to be going with the flow, not anchoring into things. Now is not the time to anchor, apparently. There's a lot of clearing of energy happening, which is also why you see a lot of storms, because storms clear out energy. Have you ever felt like an area after a major storm goes through it? It's so nice. It's so nice. The energy is so like, I don't know. We had 2 tornadoes touch down at the same time in my city probably, like, a few months ago, and when we stepped out, it was, like, honestly, after they touched down, the energy was so it was so clear, I'm like, "Oh my god." Not that I'm a big fan of tornadoes, but I you know, the clearing was necessary, I get it. Becky, me and you have the same name. That's kinda cool. So I'm doing free readings for people I'm pulled to. If you really need a reading, to guarantee a reading, there's a link in the pinned comments where you can purchase one. It'll take you over to my Etsy or a section in my Etsy shop that I do all my reading purchases from. And there's various listings in there. The cheapest listing is $5, and then the most expensive is $20. Yeah, that's what the thing, like, sometimes drastic stuff has to happen to, like, just shift our life, right? I don't know, there's been a lot of shifts. I have seen I've seen more shifts with this Mercury retrograde than I have in a while, like, on an individual level. So you just kinda gotta go with it. That's the best way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I always tell people, like, when any retrograde, whether it's Mercury retrograde or another planet retrograding, pay attention to the shit that comes up because that's the shit that you really need to, like, you really need to be looking at. Um, I think we have a Mars retrograde coming up too. That's what I'm not looking forward to because, I mean, everybody complains about Mercury retrogrades. I think Mars retrogrades are like 10 times worse. I don't know, and maybe it's just because it's Mars, but yeah. Mars goes retrograde October 30th in Gemini. And right now we have Mercury, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus all retrograde. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 planets out of 9. 10. There's 10 planets. The Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. Yeah, 10. 10. So yes, Mercury is not the only planet that goes retrograde, guys. It's just the one you hear the most about. But we have a lot of so Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto are all like kind of collective planets. Especially Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So they make more of an impact when they go retrograde on the collective and what we see in the collective. So we do have a lot of big shifts happening on massive scales that aren't just influencing individual people, but massive groups of people. So that's good to see, though. I think we definitely need it. I like retrogrades. I feel like they're my energetic check-in of, you know, what should I need to be fixing and working on and what should I don't. Like, nothing goes wrong, then I clearly don't have anything to work on. If everything goes to hell, well, then I really need to be reassessing some serious shit in my life, apparently. Yeah. Improving it, not reassessing it. I need to be improving it. Okay, guys. So I just realized it was like midnight here already. I forgot I got on later than I typically do. So I think I'm going to jump off. Hello, Lisa. So I think I'm gonna call it a night, guys. I'm not sure when I'll be on again because yeah, I was just getting into a schedule and then life happens and now I'm working and yeah, so it's kind of a get on whenever I have the energy and I can. So this weekend I had off, so I was like, I'm just gonna jump on while I have 2 days off, but maybe I'll jump on next weekend. And then I have Friday off. No, I have Saturday off. I'll be on. If you guys are following, if you've liked my page, you should get notifications on Facebook of when I go live. If you are watching on YouTube, then you should get notifications if you've subscribed to my channel. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get on sometime this week at some point. It depends on how late my shifts are. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I can't guarantee anything, unfortunately, but I enjoyed the time I did get to spend with you guys tonight. I had fun doing the readings. Thank you to everyone who let me do readings for you guys. You all are awesome. Thank you to the people. When I can talk. Thank you to the people who purchased readings as well. You guys are all awesome. Again, if you haven't liked my Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook and you haven't liked my page, please feel free to do so. If you're watching on YouTube and you have not subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so. All your support is amazing and awesome, and I appreciate you guys all so much. And I will see you when I'm live again. I hope you guys all have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.